Does this Lord Zedd from 2019 hold up today in 2023? Let's find out. So welcome to the channel. Today we're looking at the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Mighty Morphin Lord Zedd. Now, this one is a little bit older, but that's okay. Sometimes we all just gotta go back a little bit in time and buy some of these figures because they hold a special place in our heart. And then we overpay. Let's get into it. So right off the bat, my first concern is that this thing is a little bit darker than it should be. That's right, I said it, he's too dark, and I'm sure being as late to the game as I am, it's already been called out. Look at how bright he is in the back of the box. Look at that beautiful visor, and look at that. What is this? What is this? Now, it's only $24.99 when it came out, so we can't be too hard on it because that is a very affordable price, and Hasbro has lost their way with that. Let's check out the packaging and see what all we got on the box. Here is this nice illustration of Lord Zedd himself. We got Power Rangers logos. We've got warnings for the kids. Power Rangers logo on the bottom. Nothing on top. Bottom of the box, we got a sticker on the bottom, so probably from a resell scenario. This was purchased thanks to Frosted Reviews, who sent it to me so that we can go over this thing and let everybody experience this product in 2023 in super high detail. So on the bottom of the box, we've got Australia Consumer Service, and then we've got New Zealand Consumer Service, and some other languages, bunch of information. Side of the box is just that same illustration, and then on the back, the wonderful shot of the figure that looks spectacular. As far as a prototype and everything goes, this is what I want to come out of this box, and I know it's not gonna happen because it has a window, and we know what it looks like, but that looks awesome. How do we get that? It's incredible. The metal looks great, the muscle texture and color looks awesome, and that visor is perfection. Then we have some more warnings and things on the back of the box. Basics, basics, basics. You're probably gonna need a stand. Now let's open it up and see what it's all about. Inside sleeve's just a lightning bolt. Nothing spectacular going on there, but that's okay. It's not all about sleeves, right? We're not buying these things for sleeves. We're buying these for figures. So let's get it out of the plastic. There he is. Look at that. Now, this is just your standard Hasbro stuff that is the 1/12 scale, 6-inch or whatever. But I'm feeling a lot of loose joints right off the bat, but like in a good way. They're not tight, so I'm happy about that. It looks like it's gonna be fun to pose. So let's just get into the details, right? So starting with the hands, we've got this semi-gripping hand, which looks like it'll probably hold that orb and matches one of the hands that's on his body by default. But the details are nice, the sculpting's good, the paint is fine. It's got this kind of silver look to look like metal. And then this fist for the left hand, pretty highly detailed sculpt. But Hasbro, never goes too crazy with paint. Let's look at the lightning, those red lightning bit. It looks like it's probably used across many different figures. It kind of reminds me of the stuff that came on Storm, but just in a different color. Simple enough. I like these things because it's an ability that you get to play with. We've got his staff, which is super basic, simple plastic. Not a whole lot to talk about here. It's just that kind of metallic looking plastic that's got like a little bit of like shimmer to it by default. And then we've got his orb that he can throw down, I'm pretty sure, to go make himself a big time boy. Very basic, it's got some imperfections, but it's kind of traditional for Hasbro at a $25 price point, so I'm all right with it. Now, digging in to the details of Zedd himself, like we said, the visor is almost laughable when compared to what's on the back of the box. Let's just look at the difference here. Why did they do this? The prototype from the image is awesome. That visor looks like it has full paint, not like this kind of halfway finished paint, but it also has a high gloss on it. All the metal looks to have a high gloss, but just even if you just gave me that visor with a high gloss finish to really look like it was reflective, then it would be amazing. So if you pre-ordered this thing, I assume you could have back in the day, this and this are very different. So let's just get over it and move on. So we'll look at the details here. So again, great with the sculpt work, as far as like what they do with the etching and everything into the figure and the muscles and all the different textures there. It just could have really been enhanced by some paint work. It looks a little flat on the back though. So in these sections here, not a lot of textures going on like you would have in the front half where you get all of these, like clearly looks like exposed muscles, right? So I wonder why we just kind of gave up on the back, it feels. And the coloration is a little bit different. So you got these dark spots and then it just goes to the brighter red, but it's still way darker in person. His hands look to be different colors from the body. So these are brighter than the arms. And I noticed that when I pulled these hands out, they looked a little different from the body. But whatever, let's move on. So details of all of his armor, these hoses. I love that they put these things in there. This is really like pulling that experience of the show into a 6-inch figure. There's just like, is that like a scratch or something? I kept thinking it was like a hair or something attached. I couldn't get it off. So on to the rest of it. Not too bad. I mean, again, 25 bucks. Was easy to swallow those Hasbro pills back in the day. Bottom of the feet, we got some peg holes. Love it. This was produced in 2018. I think available in 2019. Not 100% sure on that. But those are the details. Let's get into articulation. Looking at the top of the head, we're gonna spin that thing all the way around. No problems there. We can look down. Pretty good actually, and then looking up, not too bad. I'm really appreciating the articulation so far. It looks like it's got one of those kind of Hasbro wobble joints, so it's like a peg underneath, so you get that on top of a ball peg thing, so you get a little extra range and you can kind of get some movement that you might not get out of other figures. Can't really tilt that much. You can get just a little bit just as it wiggles on that ball joint, but the jawline is hitting his neck there. So with the arms, we have these nice butterfly style joints for the shoulders. And I think there might be some limitation with these kind of hose things, but let's see what we got. So excellent articulation out of those shoulder blades. Where these things are gonna have limitations are gonna be in spinning it around, but you can still get it where you need it to be. So that's not really that big of an issue. But I do like how much range you're getting out of this. The butterflies are really, really helpful. Double jointed elbows are awesome. We've got some rotation around the wrist here, and then a 90-degree bend, which works just exactly as you would want it to. And then we've got the ab crunch setup here. Look at how this is built on the back. So it's got a really flat underneath. Doesn't look good when exposed, but you can get some excellent range out of it, which is amazing. I mean, look at that. You can pretty much go like 90 degrees forward, and you could probably go even further backwards if these hoses weren't reaching their limit. Wobble around the torso, which is nice. You get amazing articulation, plus this kind of traditional ab crunch setup. Turning at the waist, it's really just going to be based on the upper half, so you don't have anything in the lower half. With the legs, we can go to almost a full split. Then we have these rotations around the ball joints. We have, it looks like a split seam here, but it doesn't actually rotate. So it's just like reusing parts, but then gluing everything together because he's got this armor on. So you can't rotate that. So it's really gonna rely on that ball joint to get that movement. Can he kick forward? Pretty good. Backwards, not really because of his cheeks. Then we got the knees, which are double jointed knees. So thank you for that. But his big muscles and armor plates are causing some limitations in his bending there. And then there's no rotation down the leg. We get to the ankle, and it's that kind of traditional rocker or whatever it's called. And this is flexible, which is great. So it allows that foot to move wherever you need it to, no problem. And then as far as like tilting it up and down, it really doesn't have anything. So the legs are a little bit limited. We've got a lot of extra stuff going on in the shoulders and stuff, and then the torso is incredible. So let's pop off one of these hands, see what's underneath there. That is a really long peg. So we'll put that fist in. Let's say be careful with that, because if it gets a little too much pressure at the wrong angles, it'll snap because it's so long. But there you go. Obviously coloration is a problem. Coloration? Whatever. And then as far as putting the staff in, that's just gonna be fine. No big deal. It's a flexible plastic, so it can go in the hand just fine. That's articulation. Let's get into posing.
faster. I'm going to the maximum. I'm going to the maximum. I'm going to the maximum. I'm bigger, bolder, faster. I'm going to the maximum. I'm going to the maximum. I'm going to the maximum. I'm bigger, bolder, faster.
So there we go. We got the Power Rangers Lightning Collection, Lord Zedd, and let's get into rating. So talking about the details looked really cool. It doesn't look nearly as cool as it does in the back of the box though. So the details could have absolutely been better, at least just put a little bit more focus in that visor, because that is just a disappointing level of paint. And that's such a prime area to look at. And he really needed to be that brighter red. But his brains exposed, looking real cool. So we'll give it a 3 out of 5 with details. Which brings us to articulation. There's a lot of stuff I like about the articulation here that I'd love to see just in a lot of figures. I love the butterfly, I love the whole torso stuff. So articulation, we'll give it a 3 out of 5. And that brings us to posing. And posing was fun. You definitely want to have some Power Rangers for him to get into fights with, because he's just cool, but not great by himself. It's like one of the pieces you would get last, right? You would get all 4 Ninja Turtles and then Shredder. So we'll give it a 4 out of 5. So those are the scores. That's the overall rating. What do you think? Is this one you picked up back in 2019 or whatever? Or are you gonna try to go online and get a hold of him now? Pay a little extra. If you got some Power Rangers, this is a cool way to do it. Does make me wonder though what Super 7's gonna do with the rest of that line, because it's like hit or miss. They do good on one thing and then they drop the ball on the other. But this is Hasbro, and Hasbro, this thing would probably be $40 these days. So Hasbro, get your crap together in 2023 and stop overcharging for basic stuff. But 2019, $25, was it worth it? Yes. And I think a lot of us would bought a lot more stuff in the last year if Hasbro stuck to that pricing. Come on, guys. But thank you, Frosty Reviews, for sending this one my way, and I'm glad that you did, because it was fun, and I got to have a little bit of an experience for myself, and then I had to pack it up and send it to you. Now I don't have it anymore. Thank you so much for watching this full video, so don't forget to subscribe, like the video, leave a comment down below with something, anything. I mean, come on, we're fighting a whole algorithm. The more you engage, the better it is for this guy. And also watch that video, because I love it. That's one of my favorite things I've ever reviewed. We'll see you next time.